Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the May 18th, 2022 virtual meeting of Chatham's Historic Business District Commission. My name is Daniel Silver. This meeting will unfold as follows. As soon as Sarah Clark, the Central Permitting Coordinator, reads the Governor's directive concerning these meetings, we will have a roll call to see what members are available to review the applications this afternoon. As soon as the roll call is completed and we have established that we have a quorum, we'll move right, the first order of business will be moving right on to the minutes. And as soon as the minutes are approved, we'll move right on to the applications. All righty, Sarah.
Please note this meeting is being recorded and will be available shortly hereafter for scheduled and on-demand viewing on any smartphone or tablet device. If anyone else is recording the meeting, please notify the chairman. This meeting of the Historic Business District Commission is being conducted remotely in accordance with Section 20 of Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021 and shall afford adequate alternative means of public access via Microsoft Teams by calling the phone number 1-508-945-4410, conference ID 773-394-612 #, or join the meeting online via Microsoft Teams through the link in the posted agenda. Despite our best efforts, we may not be able to provide for real-time access, and we'll post a record of this meeting on the town's website as soon as possible. In accordance with town policy, the public can speak to any issue, hearing, or business item on the agenda during the meeting when recognized by the chair.
Thank you, Sarah. Okay, now for the roll call. Our Vice Chair, Darcy Sequin.
Darcy Sequin is here, and Doug is trying to get in on his computer. So I just sent him another link.
Okay, very good. Well, in the meantime, our clerk, Sam Schreiber.
Sam Schreiber is here.
Okay, regular member Bob Burns.
Bob Burns is here.
Very good. Then we also have, let's see. We have our regular member Doug Grattan. No, Doug's not here. Okay. That's why, okay. Okay, first alternate, Steve DeBoer.
Steve DeBoer is here.
All right. And our second alternate, Janet Whittemore.
Janet Whittemore is here.
Okay, and Janet will be sitting in for Doug, who is not here, obviously. All right. As I said, okay, we do have a quorum. As I said, the first order of business will be the minutes review, and those are the minutes of the meeting held on May 4th. Is there anybody that has any changes or amendments they would like to make to the minutes? No? All right. Let's see. Who wants to? Bob,
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of May 4th.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Sam Schreiber seconds.
Okay, minutes motion was made and seconded. All right, now let's see, we'll go through. Darcy, you still with us?
I'm here.
Okay, do you approve?
I approve.
Minutes is written. Okay. All right, Sam?
Sam Schreiber approves.
Okay, Bob Burns?
Bob Burns approves.
Okay, Steve DeBoer?
Steve DeBoer approves.
And Janet Whittemore?
Janet Whittemore approves.
Very good. Okay, so the minutes are have been accepted, approved. All right, Sam, our first hearing.
First hearing is a continued hearing signs, 22-029, Pleasant Lake Pizza Shark, care of Sarah Scanavan. Application to install a wall sign on the structure located at 637 Main Street.
Okay, very good.
And
all right. What does Sarah say about that, Central Permitting Coordinator?
That was read in the previous.
All right. Okay. Yeah, the last meeting. Yes, it was, Sam. You're right. All right. Very good. Darcy, you still with us?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Any comments about the sign?
I think it's a great looking sign. I think it's a great improvement, and it's certainly appropriate for the area.
Okay, very good. All right. Sam?
I have no comments. I think it's an improvement over the cartoon that we had before. So this at least is informative, and I assume they will be able to, customers will be able to find them.
Right. Mr. Burns,
I agree. I think the sign is much improved from what we saw in the first rendition. So I think it's very nice.
okay, Steve DeBoer,
I think it's fine. It is much more improved since the last time, and I think it's fine. Thank you.
okay, Janet Whittemore,
Yes, I agree with everyone else. Great improvement. Thank you.
yeah, this is Dan Silver, and I agree with everybody too. I questioned whether the sign could actually be composed the way it was on that oval before, but I see now it works very, very well, so I'm very happy with it. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion, continued hearing, signs 22-029, Pleasant Lake Pizza Shark Sarah Scandinavian. Application to install a wall sign on the structure located at 637 Main Street.
Thank you, Darcy. Do we have a second? Sam,
Bob
do you want
Burns,
to-
second.
Bob Burns is second it. Very good. Thank you, Bob. All right, ready to vote? Darcy,
Darcy Sequin is in favor.
Sam Schreiber,
Sam Starbird approves.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns approves.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer approves.
Janet Whittemore,
Janet Whittemore approves.
and Dan Silver approves. Very good. Excellent. Thank you. Where are we moving on to, Sam?
We have another continued hearing, additions, alterations, 22-26, Public Cafe, care of Jake Ferreira, application to install ductwork, exhaust and supply fan on the structure located at 641 Main Street.
All right, do we have the representative here?
Yep, Jake Ferrer speaking. Nothing much has changed from my previous presentation. I can do a refresher, but I did want to mention that I have Dave Veach, who's going to be speaking on behalf of the owner of this establishment. I can go through a refresher of the presentation if you'd like, or I can turn it over to Dave Veach.
Okay, David, how are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, beautifully. I can see you
Good.
too, Dave.
Thanks. I'm more accustomed to being not being on the camera, but this works. So my name's Dave Veach, and I'm here on behalf of my friend Harry Rye, who is the owner of the Public Cafe. And he asked me if I might be able to help him, and that's what I'm trying to do. His understanding of and ability to prepare good food exceeds his ability to understand local government control interaction with businesses. I think I'd say so. I guess what I'm trying to do, what I'd like to do is I watched the previous meetings and kind of followed what was going on, and for a number of reasons, I'm seeking to see if I can encourage you folks to find a way to approve the application with the ductwork running up the outside of the building, unenclosed, as shown in Jake's drawings. And my reasoning for that, or in the things that I would say, are we did look into, Dave Crockett and I talked over and looked at some of the issues with respect to enclosing this ductwork. And it's in order to do that, there's no question that it's going to add complexity and cost, considerable for that matter. I do understand, I noticed in the meeting that, Jake had shown a photo of the enclosed duct at the Orpheum across the way, and this one. the members like that, and I understand that certainly. I mean, as some of you may know, I had some things to do with the Orpheum project. I was on the building committee there, and I actually also, since my wife was president, I played the role of conciliatory for the whole entire project in some respects. And that does look good, but in order to try to accomplish something like that here, I just don't. It seems to me to be, it would be far too difficult and expensive. Harry just doesn't have that kind of money. He's already investing the money in the hood, then the electrical and plumbing and everything that's necessary there. That we already have. We're on the back of the Colonial building. There's already a fan on the end of the building, as you can see there. It's visible from the parking lot, but I just don't think I don't think this is the setting where it would certainly be a great help to Harry and his family. His family-run immigrant business that he operates here, to not have to deal with the added expense. Certainly, he got an estimate from one contractor to some talking could be $15,000 to $20,000 to do this. I got another estimate that was over $30,000. Who knows for sure? But it's certainly not an easy thing to accomplish, especially where the fans and ductwork climb partway up the roof, as shown in the drawing, which is, as you can see, is a different kind of application than what the Orpheum had. The Orpheums was done while the building was under construction. The Orpheum is a legitimate historical structure. It's a nonprofit organization, 501c3 nonprofit. It had community preservation funding from the town to about $300,000. All of those things which kind of helped to run that duct the way they did. None of that applies here. This is a hardworking family restaurant. It's after the fact. The building's been completed. I just don't. I hope that you can, in taking another look at it and framing it a little differently, that you folks can see that it's not going to stand out that badly. It's going to not going to look out of place where it is. And I also, spoke with the building owner, and he wanted me to convey that he is 100% in favor of this way of doing it. Harry has his total support in doing it this way. He is unable to be here because out of the country for a wedding right now, but he did want me to emphasize that he's all for this proposal the way that it's shown. If there are any questions or anything, I see. And then actually, one other point that I didn't make is that enclosed fan, chase in the Orpheum might well be the only one in town. There's a number of restaurants in town that have ductwork exposed on the side of the building, most notably the Oyster on the parking lot outside over by Cape Gould Park. And yes, there are places where they were able to put the fans and the ducting up directly through the roof. But that is because they have occupied apartments above this, makes it far more difficult to do that here, if even possible. So I would hope that you folks could take another look at that and allow it to go forward. Thanks.
Thank you, David, very much. Sarah, could you put up the picture that came by the application in the back of the building? Just to remind. Yeah, that one. Okay. Very good. Yeah, thank you, Sarah. David, would it be safe to say that enclosing it would add bulk to that? Certainly would on the roof, would it not?
Oh, yeah, it would. So, one of the things that Dave and I were looking at is it would add bulk, of course. I don't know, what the clear.
We lost you there, Dave.
Uh-oh.
I see you, Sam. Are you done, Dave? We lost you.
Maybe we could get his input when he's, when we're through with our,
Andrew, how do you turn the volume up? I need to turn the volume up. I can't hear it. And I need to mute.
David, you still with us?
why don't we go on with the discussion, Dan?
Yeah, okay. All right. Go ahead, Darcy.
Yeah, I have a question and I'd like to discuss it further also. Jake, how far away from the vent does it protrude from the building?
So right now I show it as about 10 inches off the building.
10 inches off the building.
Yep.
Okay.
And the ductwork to be max 18 inch by 18 inch.
Okay. And you did say that there's no other people that will go through there except for who's going into the public, right?
Say that again about
Only the employees or Harry will be going into that building through past that vent. There isn't going to be public going past that vent, correct?
in terms
public.
of underneath the ductwork. So the
Right, on the deck. No one's
Oh,
going
on
to be passing through there.
I can't speak to the traffic who walks through there.
I'm getting a lot of
I'm
feedback.
not sure that it's.
I can't hear you, Jake. Sorry. Okay.
I can't speak to the traffic who specifically uses that deck. I would imagine for Henry's application for the cafe owner, it's his door to that deck is in the back of the house, so only his employees would have access
Okay.
to that deck. I can't speak for the other businesses that are there, but I do know that where that public cafe sign is, that door is in the back of the house, so there's only access for his employees to that back deck.
Okay. All right.
And that ductwork will be won't be any lower. I'd say the lowest would be about 80 inches. The bracket would be below that to mount to the side of the building.
Okay.
The hood inside would be 80 inches off of the finished floor. So the ductwork on the outside would be around that dimension.
I'd like to thank David for his input. I think thank you very much. I appreciate that. And, you know, I thought a lot about this and I think he's following regulations, what he needs to have his business going. I think he needs this ductwork. So I am going to be in favor of it. I have one suggestion. Because that vent protrudes out from the building so much, probably just put a bench under there so nobody bangs into it, hits their head or whatever. I think that's just a minor thing that they could do to alleviate any problems there. That's all I have.
Oh, that makes sense, Darcy, sure.
Okay, all done, Darcy?
All done.
Okay, Sam?
Well, I think, like most mechanical issues, that no matter what, a certain amount of expectation for covering or reducing the impact on our visual senses is always attempted to be eliminated, and I think that's unfortunate, and that some sort of cover could be done. And I also think that there could be the gutter and fascia and soffit of the roof could be cut back, and all these things could be done with sheet metal. That sheet metal can be broken and wrapped around this outside of this thing, and some sheet metals come, or aluminum sheet comes finished white. height. So there would be an automatic cover that could be put around this duct. And it could be similarly, the opening of simple flashing could be put around the opening cut through the gutter, and all that could be done, I think, very minimal. And at least you would make an effort to make this more presentable to the public that uses the parking lot.
Thank you, Sam. Bob?
Yeah, I'm concerned, by these estimates, 15 to 30,000. That's hard to believe, and I just think maybe there's another solution out there to encase it, but I was blown away by those two estimates.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Steve,
Well,
Yes, Dan.
any comments?
Oh, sorry.
Well, I was just thinking, maybe, in looking at the unit for the Orpheum, maybe instead of this vent sort of following the roof line, maybe it could just go, is it possible that it just goes straight up? And it could be made to look more like a chimney rather than vent work. I think part of the problem is trying to hide all of that infrastructure along the roof line. But if it just went straight up, I don't know if there's limitations about how far it has to be from combustible materials, but if it just went straight up the side of the building and straight up for a number of feet, it would look more like a chimney rather than a vent.
The issue there, even if it's more aesthetically pleasing, would be servicing these units. These fans in relative to the fan that was shown for the Orpheum Theater, they're quite larger than that particular fan. So that fan is easier to service than these fans. The worry I have is that the building department, if you guys approve that sort of application, the building department might require the owner to add a service platform around these fans. That's kind of why the plan was to angle the ductwork and the fans back onto the roof, so it would be readily accessible for servicing every season. I fear that if you go straight up, you might need a platform to service these fans, and that might be more, I guess, less aesthetically pleasing.
Okay. I'm just trying to find an alternative for that, all that ductwork to run up the roof line, and then I think it's whatever you do is going to be very visible. I think I understand it's a parking lot, and it's not Main Street, but I don't know. I just whatever we could do to kind of hide all of that infrastructure would be a bonus.
We have painted our exterior ductwork in the past. I don't know if that's an option to paint it. I guess the side of the building's white.
Yes.
Sort of similar to what Sam was saying, but just without a sheet metal enclosure. I think Sam was describing adding an additional sheet metal layer around the ductwork in a white color.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Janet?
I just questioned, does the fire department have any input about these ducts? Are there any hazards to fire with them?
Jake,
I haven't heard of any. I'm not sure how the building department has in sequence. I think it first goes through you guys, the historic commission, and then typically the building department would maybe work with the fire department in review of this. I'm not sure what the sequence is for for Chatham.
I have,
In the case of building regulations, where fire is an issue, those have been determined by non-combustible combustibles, which means the building department is the first line of the in approval.
thank you, Sam.
All right, yeah, this is Dan Silva. Yeah, those are required by law, so I don't know, how far you can you can probably deviate slightly on the design, but they're required for a restaurant. So, I pretty much agree with everybody. It's not the best looking thing in the world, and I agree completely that trying to make it parallel with the roof is probably keeping anything reasonable from being done. I really, the back of that building is not the nicest in the world, and I do appreciate the fact, Dave. I don't think or Jake, I don't think that sticks above the roof from wouldn't be visible from 28, would it? There's several there. You have a photograph with several that are.
It's not visible. So the existing chimney stacks and the existing fan on the end of the building, they are not visible from the main street side.
Oh, I thought you had one. Yeah. Now that's the whoops. One back, Sarah.
So that's the back. That's the back. They're visible from the back of the building, but not the front of the building. Is what I was
Okay.
trying
Yeah.
to say.
So there's already one visible from the back, right? The fan.
Well,
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And it will not protrude above the ridge, right? From what you showed us on the other drawings. So,
Yeah.
all right. I don't know. I agree
Dan,
with
Douglas, sir.
everybody. Yeah, Sam, go ahead.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that the applicant has not shown any, has just increased the pressure on us to accept, and has not displayed any alternatives one way or another. What kinds of thought process? I mean, was there an analysis, let's say, the cost of the ductwork having to go up and out and up and around a soffit, a roof soffit, a roof eave, and would the straight duct going through the soffit and just making one angled bend be less money than having to make all these bends, which would help finance, help giving you some freedom to make the ductwork more presentable, and also not having to have it sit out in front of the be 10 inches away from the that it could be fit right back against the wall, and that would help keep it from vibrating in the wind, and so it might last longer being attached to the building directly. And then covered, if it were covered with a sheet metal bent sheet metal, that would keep the elements away from it so that it would last longer. I think some thought processes here should have been presented to us before we were just given a basta, take it or leave it.
Dan, could I respond to that?
All right, folks, would anybody have any last comments?
I do.
Yeah, Tom,
All right, go ahead, Darcy.
I guess I have to ask Sam what the difference is between the sheet metal on the venting as opposed to a coverage of sheet metal. Again, it's just like adding bulk to what's already there. Okay,
Do you have a
so
reply, Sam?
I didn't understand the question that broke up.
Oh, Darcy wanted to know what the difference would be between just using the metal the way the design is now and wrapping it. She doesn't see any difference. The wrapping would actually be larger. It'd be metal still be metal and it'd be larger.
In the case of the ductwork that they present, I believe it has flanges every 4 feet or so. And these flanges help secure the thing together. When those flanges put a rib around the ductwork, and so it just looks more mechanical rather than a simple rectangular piece against the building that would kind of disappear white on white. But all these shadows and the shadows on the, you just have to look at the ductwork of the one on the end of the building. And you can see that there's a lot of detail there. And then there are brackets that have to be shown. And the brackets could be eliminated and the ductwork be put against the wall and then have a cover around it, or just like flashing. David, did you want to address something? David V.
I'll, if Dan calls on me, I will say something.
Okay.
Go ahead, David, if you want to say something.
Yeah. So, Sam, I take offense at your characterization of Harry not making effort to do anything. This was my decision. He asked me to help. It was my decision to come in and ask you to reconsider. He's not trying to duck anything. He doesn't understand most of this process, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And so Dave Crockett and I have stepped in to try to help him. And it's clear that any effort to do this is going to add costs that he can ill afford. And so I thought that it was worthy to reassess the situation. The back of the Colonial Building is hardly the gem that we would expect from downtown Chatham. And it's a back of a commercial building. And so there are times, in my judgment, when I think you can relax your standards somewhat. That's all. Thanks.
Thank you, David. Okay, well, at this time, David, I'm
question.
going to do what I'm sure you're very familiar with. I'm just going to poll the members to see where they stand right now. All right. Darcy?
Dan, I believe Darcy has a question, Dan.
I do. I have a
Oh.
question for Jake. Would it be possible to paint the flanges and the venting white?
So in terms of the exhaust ductwork, it's welded and fire wrapped. In
Right.
the intake ductwork, we can install it without flanges using what they call like a slip and drive technique to minimize the I guess the protrusions on the ductwork, for lack of a better term. And yes, the ductwork can be painted.
Okay. If that were the case, then I would be in favor of it.
All right, Sam, where do you stand at this point? You heard.
Well, now I just heard for the very first time that there's another way they can just construct the ductwork so that it's more streamlined and more simplified. I would have, that would be, because its appearance would be less impactful and might be acceptable.
Thank you, Sam. All right, Bob?
Dan, just so you know, Doug did join us about
Oh,
20
Doug,
minutes
you're
ago,
back.
so he's
All right.
been on listening to the
All right.
hearing.
Oh, Doug.
I apologize. I had technical difficulties. If we're polling, if it was painted white, I would vote to approve.
Okay. Well, you got me out of line now here.
Yeah,
Okay.
by the way.
All right. So where were we, Bob?
Yeah, a question for Jake. Jake, what's the durability of that paint? What do you use?
It would have to be rated a high temperature paint that we would use, especially on the exhaust ductwork.
And how long will that, what's the life of that before it has to be repainted?
Depends on what we use, but for argument's sake, I would say about 10 years.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I would approve if it can be painted white.
All right, Bob. Let's see, Doug, you've already had your comment, right? Steve, how do you
Well-
feel about it now?
Well, I feel the same about it now. I would like to see it disguised as much as possible. If it could be made to look like a chimney, that would be my preference. But if you can paint it white and try to disguise it into the building as much as possible, I think that's probably acceptable.
All righty. Okay, Janet?
I feel that we should, I would say yes, we can to pass this. It is true that that building itself is in such bad disrepair. It's a hard thing.
All right, then I think it's fair to say that if there was a condition to the motion that it be, let's see, the application be approved with conditions that the ductwork be changed to something as small as possible and that it be painted, it would probably fly.
Would you like me to make a motion, Dan?
Yes, please.
Doug Grant will make a motion on continued hearing 22-026 Public Cafe, care of Jake Ferreira, application to install ductwork, exhaust, and supply fan on the structure located at 641 Main Street, with the condition that the smallest ductwork as possible and painted white.
Thank you.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. All right, folks, here we go. Darcy?
Darcy Sequin is in favor.
Okay, Sam?
I think I'm going to pass for this round.
Okay, so you're gonna abstain?
Yes, I'm going to say.
Okay. Bob Burns?
Burns approves.
Okay. Doug Grattan?
Doug Grattan approves.
Okay. Steve DeBoer?
Steve DeBoer would approve.
Okay. And Janet Winnemore?
And I would approve.
Okay, and Dan Silver will approve as well. Congratulations, folks. And we'll be watching to make sure it's painted white and the ductwork is small, Jake.
Thank you, everybody, for your time.
David, thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, take
Yeah.
care.
All right, Sam, where are we?
We have 22-37 Drifters, Dylan Cannon, application to paint the siding and trim on the structure located at 2642 Main Street.
Yes.
Hi again.
Hi, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you.
My business partner Eric is here as well. So we took everything that you guys said at the previous meeting and applied it in as much as we could. Dan, you had said if we if we had lightened the color that we picked a bit and painted, instead of having darker trim, painted the whole thing one singular color. We included that here, and I made a rendering as per Janet's request, so she could see what it would look like with the roof as it stands. And yeah, this is what we came back with. Obviously a scanned photo shows things a little darker, but that's the general idea.
Yes, I think that the rendition that you gave us was very nice. Thank you. The quality of it. All right, Darcy?
I have the actual swatches here, and I think it looks great. I think it's a good
Okay.
color choice.
Sam?
We did, oh, sorry.
Sam, what
Well,
say you?
There was a sort of a bunch of photographs that show example of historic buildings.
I
And there's-
included, oh, sorry.
Then there's their building, and then there's another building which is horrendous. Then there's Paul Revere's house, and then two buildings that look like House at Seven Gables. And the color seems to be consistent with those houses. At least it's brighter than any other colors. There's a color swatch that is sort of a very warm gray. Actually, I would say brown. And brown and yellow, it's okay. It's a little bit unusual with white windows. But I suppose if that's what they want to do to their building, I would approve it.
Thank you, Sam. Bob?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the color. I think it's should be even lighter than it is. Yellow door seems to be strange. But again, if that's what they want to do, then I guess I'm in favor of it.
Okay, Doug?
Yeah, so I think I saw a building of similar color down 28, maybe towards Howard or even Dennis, and it's a striking combination, and I understand the look they're going for, and I would vote to approve.
All right, Steve?
I guess I would prefer a slightly lighter color of gray. And I'm a little confused about the window trim. Some of the sashes are white, some are there's some in the gable end there that are gray. Maybe if the window casing, the outside casing was painted white. There's what appears to be 3 doors across the front of the structure that I think face Route 28. Are they going to be painted yellow as well? So that all the doors are painted yellow, or just the side door? I'm a little bit confused about the what you're presenting here.
I can address that. So I think it's, in our Photoshop capabilities, all the trim on the windows, as you can see, the front facing, how they're not trim, but the actual casings of the windows are going to remain white. And that's the most accurate. It's challenging to get all of that with where the angle is on the Morton Street facing windows for that to look, but all those casings of the windows will be white as well. The doors facing Main Street are going to remain white. The one door that is painted yellow in the photograph is the only door that we're going to paint. That's the main entrance for the building. So that's the reason we just want to signify it with the differentiation.
Okay. All right, but I kind of wish it was a little bit still lighter gray than it is. It looks a little drab to me, but it's your building, so. Okay, thank you.
All right, Janet?
I think it's okay. Overall, I'm not crazy about it, but they are, and they want to do this, so I would be in favor if I had to vote.
Okay, thank you, Janet, and you do. Oh, you don't, do you, Doug?
No, No,
I guess back, right? Okay, this is Dan Silva. Yeah, I appreciate what they've done. Again, my comments from before are the same this time, and that, this approach is very closely a lot of antique houses you'll find in Plymouth, Hull, Strawberry Hill, and other places. So I appreciate the work you did. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
The yellow door is a little strange, but if you want it, you want it. I'm fine with that.
Well, I'll tell you, we actually, one of the things that we noticed, and one of the things that we kind of made that decision off of was the Chamber of Commerce building across from 137 South Chatham.
Yes. Also, I understand that that's the window sash you're talking about. It's going to be white.
Correct.
Yeah. I don't think anybody outside of myself bothered to take out the windows and paint them the same color as the house trim. I'm probably the only one that does it, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So anyways, all right. Very good then. Doug.
All right, so Doug Grant will make a motion under continued hearings, additions and alterations, application 22-037, Drifters, care of Dylan Cannon. Application to paint the siding and trim on the structure located at 2642 Main Street as presented.
2624, I think. Is it?
I'm sorry, 2642.
Yeah. 2624.
Am I two? I have
No, it's 2640.
I have 4. You have 2242?
I have 42. Am I incorrect?
No, that's correct.
Yes,
Okay.
Okay, I had it on another paper, 24. Sorry. I'll second the motion.
All right, motion was made and seconded. All right, very good. Let's see. Motion was made and seconded, so we'll go with Darcy.
Darcy's in favor.
Sam?
Sam's in favor.
Okay, and Doug?
Doug Rad's in favor.
Bob?
Bob Burns in favor.
All right, Janet, if you had your choice?
be in favor.
Janet, would you vote if you had a chance? In
Yeah,
favor?
I'd be
Okay,
in
very
favor.
good. All right. And Dan Silver votes in favor. Okay, so that passes. All right, Sam?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Modification 22-041, Top Notch Location LLC, care of Rick Smith. Application to modify the certificate of appropriateness to install a hanging sign to the structure located at 409 Main Street.
I signed a section 23 disclosure. This is Darcy Sequin. I work at that building.
Very good. Do we have Rick here, our representative? There he is.
Hi, how are you? Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I just hope the Chatham police aren't watching right now.
No, I'm not driving. I'm a passenger. But good afternoon, Commission, Historic Business District Commission, and thank you for hearing my request to the H.B.D.C. to modify my existing certificate of appropriateness dated May 18 of 2019 with regard to my signage at 409 Main Street. And the sign, this is just to replace the bracket to a deteriorated bracket that's been on that building for, well, I've been there for 30 years and it was there long before I was there. It's dangerous. We've removed the current frontal sign, which is Gibson Sotheby's, just because we're worried that the sign bracket let go. We've had Plymouth Sign Company design and has submitted this photograph here, and we want to replace the old plumber's pipe that was painted white that held that sign up with a classic black wrought iron bracket frame, and nothing else is changing. The sign is the same, the lighting's the same. It's just the bracket itself that will be black and taking on the responsibility of holding that sign safe. And that's it.
Well, thank you, Rick, for making it so simple.
Okay.
Darcy?
I don't know if I could make a comment or not. disclose that I worked there, so. I agree with Rick, it is
Will you
dangerous.
be able to get back? Oh, yeah, you work there.
Well, Darcy,
Yeah.
have you recused yourself?
No, I didn't recuse myself. I just disclosed that
Okay.
I worked there.
You can sign the letter with Sarah.
I'll just pass. It's okay.
All righty. So Sam,
Rick, is it a black metal square tube? Is that what the bracket is?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that, Sam?
Is it a square tube
Yeah.
that's been welded?
Yeah, it's a square. It's not going to be a round pipe like a pipe fitting that's there now.
It's a square tube then.
Yes.
It's hollow. It's hollow.
No, I believe it's wrought iron. I believe I've asked them to wrought iron, or it could be
Okay.
hollow if I think.
No, if you've got them to make it out of some sort of wrought iron, solid, looks like 1-inch material, that seems fine. That's all I have for
Okay.
question.
Would
All
Sam,
right,
would it
great.
be all right if it were the 1-inch hollow tube? It looks the same. Does it need to be wrought iron? Can you clarify?
It's as long as it looks like what's in the picture. If you
Got
make it solid or hollow, whatever works best for you.
Okay.
okay, Bob,
I have no questions. It looks fine. Thank you.
Doug,
Yeah, it looks good. And much needed improvement. I have no problem or no questions, so. Safety
Steve?
first.
thank you, Doug. Steve,
Yeah, hi, Rick. I haven't, no questions or concerns about it. It looks fine.
okay, Janet.
I think it looks fine. It's an improvement, actually. Okay.
All right, this is Dan Silver. I have no problems with it whatsoever. All right, Doug.
All right, so Doug Grant will make a motion on application for modification of 22-041 Top Notch Location LLC, care of Rick Smith. Application to modify the certificate of appropriateness to install a hanging sign to the structure located at 409 Main Street as presented.
Thank you, Doug. Darcy,
Can I second the motion?
okay, sure,
Is
go
that all
ahead.
right? Okay, I'll second it.
Motion is made and seconded. All right, Janet, what would you say?
If I had a vote, I would be in favor. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Steve DeBoer,
I would vote in favor.
Doug Grattan,
Doug Grattan votes in favor.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns votes in favor.
Sam Stryver,
Sam Stryver votes to approve.
Darcy Sequin,
Darcy Sequin is in favor.
Dan Silver's in favor as well. Very good. Okay, there we go, folks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Rick.
Bye.
Additions, alterations, 22-38, Max Chatham Fish and Lobster, care of Derek Burgess. Application to replace windows and doors on the structure located at 1291 Main Street.
Hello, Derek.
Good afternoon. Hi, how are you?
How you doing?
So this is my first time with you guys, so I don't know what the procedure is. Am I supposed to present my case, or do you guys?
Well, I don't know if it's a
lay
case.
out
What did you tell us what you're proposing to do?
So basically, the old fish market at 1291 Main Street that you're looking at right now has been, we took it all apart, moved the fish market over to the fancy space on the other side of Cornfield Condos. And now we would like to expand our restaurant into the old fish market space. And to do that, we propose to replace the 2 plate glass windows and the double French door that are on the existing elevation of the old fish market with 3 fold-up windows. And the French door essentially stays the same configuration. It just moves over a little bit. So it'll be that same commercial full view glass door. The fold up windows are going to be configured so that they look like double hung windows, as you can see in the rendering. So that'll be a little bit more historic than the plate glass that was there now. The building, the rest of the building has just regular Anderson windows on it that aren't particularly historic. So we're trying to enhance the historic value of what's not a very old structure.
Thank you. All right. Janet, would you like to start us off?
I can see, are you planning to serve through these windows? Is that why you?
No, there will not be, there won't be served. The one on the far right will be a pickup window for servers to serve the picnic tables outside. But there will be no, you won't be able to order from there. And the two windows on the left are just, there's going to be a bar on the inside of those, a high top bar with bar stools at it that people will be able to sit at, and they'll be able to confer with the people that are sitting outside. We're trying to create more of a community atmosphere there. And we're actually probably going to reconfigure the line that goes into the restaurant to run across that walkway in front of the new bar space. So we'd really like to foster an open environment with those fold-up windows. The actual, in that side view, you can see the countertop sticks out a little bit past those fold-up windows, past the plane of the exterior of the building. So I think that's going to be a pretty neat place to sit and people watch and, you know, make the people that are standing in line envious and hopefully spend more money.
What I'm concerned about is that it looks like a great change in the size of the windows. And that I'm concerned that it may not go with the rest of the building, because the original building that was there is an antique building. And, you know, the windows went along with that. And this is very attractive and would look, it looks like the windows at the Nat kind of. It looks very, that's where everybody's going, but I don't think that it will go well with the rest of the building. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Right. So that is set back a little bit, that facade of the fish market. So it's not in plane with the rest of the front of the building. So it's, we feel it's kind of a separate entity. As you can see, there's a jog back in. So that is, and it's also underneath that big portico roof. So I'm not, I see what you're saying about the scale of those windows. They're going to be smaller than the plate glass windows that are there right now, and higher. So I think they're going to be more in keeping. If the front of the restaurant and the rest of the building is, they're Anderson double hungs, which are about the same height as the fold-up windows. They're just a little bit narrower.
All right, Janet?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
To say thank you.
Steve DeBoer?
I don't have any questions or concerns. I think it's a nice improvement.
Bob Burns?
One question, is there anything going to happen, Derek, on the side of the building?
So we're just going to replace, there's two double hungs on that gable end of that building. One of them has been hidden behind a piece of refrigeration, and the other one got covered over because there was a lobster tank there. We're going to bring those back to life, but they'll be the same size as what the original windows were there. The openings are still there, so we're just going to take the siding and the plywood out and pop a double hung window in there, which is what was there originally.
And screening, is there going to be screening on the side? Do we need screening to, if we're seeing anything there like refrigerators or?
So yeah, right now there's not refrigeration on that side of the building until you get back to the double door on the right where the lobster tank is, and even that's behind closed doors. You really don't see any refrigeration until you get up to where the driveway entrance is to the back of the restaurant, and that's just a walk-in cooler. We do not plan on adding any. There is one mini split over there, It's behind a bush, and we plan on keeping the new mini split and HVAC equipment hidden behind those bushes, so they won't be visible, but we don't plan on adding any more mechanical equipment out there. Right now, you've got the big giant gas main comes in on that corner, so we're anxious to keep that as screened as possible because it looks pretty ugly.
Okay, and then in front of the main entrance, any changes to screening?
So we have a separate application with you that I believe we're going to review at your next meeting to redo the patio area and add a little bit more greenery, and also to make some other changes that I believe we're going to consider that on your next meeting.
And the picnic tables to that area, you're going to come to us with
yes
changes there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Just one other point on the new fish market side, where the fish market is on the left-hand side. There's a compressor out there. When you guys were before us a few months ago, that was supposed to be screened.
Okay.
And it's not screened.
I'm kind of new to this, Bob, so
Okay.
I'm just getting up to speed, but I can certainly make that happen. So you're talking about before the loading dock, that bank of compressors there?
Yeah, there's a compressor sitting out there. So screening would be great.
I'll have that taken care of.
Okay. Thanks, Derek. No further questions.
All right, Sam?
I'm a little concerned about your presentation of in the packet, because it was very hard to find out what you were actually doing based on what you've shown. I'm not sure why you're having these fold up double hungs as opposed to regular double hung.
Well, again, we'd like to bring the outdoors inside as much as possible. We're looking to foster community atmosphere between the people that are inside and the people that are outside. We like the people that are inside to be able to enjoy the outside and vice versa. I think it's going to be a attractive feature for aesthetically for people to, that the two spaces will communicate more rather than be closed off.
So does the bottom sash tilt out or tilt in?
They tilt up, so it's a fold up window, so it'll actually create a little roof over. I believe it shows the functionality on the cut sheet, but they basically fold up on a track that's in the jamb of the window, so both sashes would stick out horizontally when opened, up above head height.
They tilt out. They open like awnings out.
No, they do not open like awnings out. They fold up, like the bottom of the window does not flap out like an awning window. It's pinned to a track in the jamb. So, and then the two sashes are hinged together. So when you slide that bottom sash up, the top of that bottom sash will fold out, as does the bottom of the upper sash. They're on hinges, and then when they get up to the top, they would meet, and they'd be perpendicular to the window opening.
Yeah, Sam, this is Steve. I think they're more like a bifold door. So if you can think of
Correct.
how a bifold door opens, like a closet door opens.
Yeah, it's like a bifold door, but it
Yeah.
horizontal as opposed to vertical. That's a good description. Thank you.
The bifold center part is where the hinge is.
Correct.
And that goes out or in?
That would go out. So when the window is folded up, it would be, if
Now I
you
have
were
an idea
walking
what
past,
this
it would
is
be
gonna
above
be.
your head. Yeah, there it is, right there.
Okay, now I have an idea about, well, that would have been helpful. Would have saved me this. Because the astragal and the meeting rails make a fatter piece in this replacement of double hungs.
It is a little bit wider. You're correct.
The bottom the bottom part of the sash is 3.5 inches. The top half is inching the top piece. So it's in proportion. This is going to be a heavier item. It's going to look heavy. It's going to look big. And okay, you open it up. I think that's probably, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt that this is going to be an improvement. And in our climate that goes from winter to summer with no spring, that you'll be air conditioning and you'll close the window.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to provide air curtains too, so that we're not conditioning the outside.
So your best intentions are going to be frustrated by Chatham.
Well, we can always try.
Now you're replacing the windows on the right side, and you're saying it's like for like, and they're double hungs there, regular.
Correct. Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the windows behind the lobster tank was eliminated some time ago. So there's still a framed opening there, and the actual trim is still on the outside, but there's no window. So
your drawings show, that it's like a casement. It's just shown as a light.
Yeah, they're not going to open. That's why they're shown that way. So they're going to have the meeting rails to make them look like double hungs, because that's what would have been there.
Well,
and I believe that's in the cut sheet that we sent, was a double hung was shown.
Okay, well, I didn't get a cut sheet in my thing.
Oh,
so anyway, I only believe what I see in the drawings. And
I can have those modified easily.
The person who did this should be instructed to draw it properly. So it's just frustrating when you're having to make it up all the time.
I understand.
Okay.
All right, Sam. So this is Dan. I understand what you're trying to do. My only concern is that you're bringing a very contemporary unit and look to a structure that is all, made to look historic. As Janet says, the place next door is an antique house. So I don't think the windows belong in there, to be honest with you. But my other concern was, I don't know, when they're folded, I guess you're only going to have two options, open and closed, because when you if you get them half open, isn't that going to put something in the way of people walking across that space that you're talking about in front of the windows?
They would either have to be fully opened or fully closed. You're correct.
So I would prefer to see the windows that you put in the other side between the fish, going out into the little patio that you have out there, the regular Anderson windows.
The problem with that,
I really don't see where, outside of maybe not even convenience to you, that these are bringing any type of convenience whatsoever. Double hung windows can be opened up so you can get people looking at each other from either side. So
the problem with that is we would not be able to continue the countertop across the length of a couple of double hung windows. And also, because we're going to have a high top bar against that wall, your double hung window, the back of that bar is going to be right in the middle of it. I think it's going to look pretty horrible.
Why would you not be able to have a bar in front of a double hung
because
window?
the double hung windows come in too low. They'd be table height, not counter height.
Well, you're going to change that with these new windows, right?
The fold up windows start a little bit higher. Yes, you're correct.
So actually, if you're going to reframe that for these new windows, you could reframe them for a double hung to work for you.
I'm not sure we can get a double hung that small. If we do, it's going to be tiny, and it will look short and fat. So I can look into it, but I'm almost positive that we're not going to be able to find a double hung that would fit because of the head height there. We don't have a lot of height under those eaves.
Well, I can suggest to you that there's a window over every kitchen sink around here.
Yeah. But think about it. With the rest of those Anderson windows on that building, if you put tiny double hungs on that side, I really think they're going to look out of place.
Well, my point is, I don't think I think you're bringing something too contemporary. I don't think you should have that pickup there, and I don't think you should have it, have a bar inside. So I think, actually, what I guess I'm trying to say is, I understand what you're doing, but I think it's too contemporary for that whole block, and that you ought to just put double hung Anderson windows like that are in the rest of the unit on there. I mean, I'm not going to get, don't want it to start looking like a fast food takeout, with the bars and everything else.
No, it certainly will not be that. I don't know if you guys, how familiar you are with the brand and Max Aesthetic. We don't do anything fast food or highly industrialized.
Oh, very familiar. You're wonderful there. And as a matter of fact, I was in there today, and if those double hungs were just open, I would be outside with everybody. I would have been outside. The problem there is, like Sam said today, there was too much wind blowing through there. Couldn't keep my napkins on the table. So,
Yeah. Hi.
anyways, I understand what you're doing. And I guess most of the people are behind you. So, anyways,
This is Steve.
I can't approve this one.
What is the? This is Steve. What is the dimensions of the height of the window?
So the top of the window is like 84 inches, because we need the clearance to be able to walk underneath them.
Right, but what's the rough opening for the window?
Hold on, I have to get that information is elsewhere. Excuse me 1 second. I believe there was, I know in the packet I submitted, there was cut sheets of the rough openings of those windows, but if you bear with me for 1 second, I can find it.
Certainly. Yep.
Dan, quick question for you while I was looking at that. This structure was built in 1964. What designates an antique?
The building that was brought down, Mrs. Crowley's house, was up on the hill. The left-hand side was brought down from the top of the hill and placed down below, and then that building was attached to it, and it became part of the. So it in itself, you're right. The major part of the building is not antique.
Okay.
You're absolutely right. But the rest of the whole thing was made to try to blend into that antique house. So, although it was new, it tried to conform to the look of Mrs. Crowley's house.
This is Bob. I have the schedule. It looks like the fold up, the width, the rough opening is 6'8", and the height is 4'8".
Bob, that's a double window, right?
That's the fold up.
Yeah, the fold up window. So they start at 4 feet off the ground and then go up to 6'8".
8.
And then that would be 2.8.
Right.
Yeah,
That
the
would be
the normal window would be 30 by 54 today.
Right.
And it would be 6'9" off the floor.
Right.
Well, Anderson makes a 3-foot double hung.
Yes, they do. Certainly do.
Yes, they do. So,
As a matter of fact, they make them on the 1/4 inch if you want. But
so anything, I have the catalog here.
I put in
All
my
right.
2 cents, Dan, please.
yeah, go ahead, Darcy.
I think what he's saying is that when these windows are down, they are going to look like double hung windows. And I think that's
Correct.
what our concern should be, what they look like when they are down. So I think it would be fine. My own opinion. That's it.
Derek, I do have a question. These are folding windows, right?
Yes.
And that's a single unit that folds up is going to be 4 feet wide.
Correct.
All right. So Darcy, the windows that are there that would replace it would be 2 feet apart, 2 feet wide rather than 4 feet.
No, I understand.
They wouldn't. They look. I don't think he's going to put a 4-foot double hung window in there. I know that.
Yeah,
You're not gonna,
yeah,
no,
that
you're not gonna
wouldn't
do that. No. All right.
And,
Oh, Doug, we might as well take him, Sam.
yeah, I just have a quick question, Derek.
Sure.
The picture that you showed us of the woman walking up the street, up the pathway there goes straight to the doorways. Now the doors are going to move down.
Mm-hmm.
The doors are going to move down to the west, and so is the path going to move?
So that'll be, we will address that in our next application. That is actually not going to be an entrance anymore. We'd like, if we are going to have an entrance from the main parking lot, it would move over to where the new door is going to be. But the plan right now is for the line to into the restaurant to go up to get your counter service would run underneath that roof you're seeing underneath the fish market lobster pool sign, and go out the drive to the parking lot towards the right. So we don't really want to have an entrance there coming in from the parking lot, because that'll confuse the line. We really want to train that line to go parallel out the building for congestion's sake, because that's, that goes right across our patio area where the picnic tables are. And we'd like that to not be a traffic route. We want to keep them coming in from the side of the building. So that's our game plan. You'll see when we review the new patio plan next week, you'll see that we've our plan is to change that access to come in from the side, for the right side of the building.
Dan,
Yeah,
Bob has his hand raised.
All
as
right. All right, folks. Any further comments?
Yeah, I have a question. Is that just to the right of the building, Derek, that you want these windows, the change in the windows, just?
Yes. Yeah, only on that far right side of the building that's set back from the rest of the building.
Okay, Derek, what I'm concerned about is how it will look compared to the rest of the building. That's a big change you're asking for.
Right. So that's one of the reasons that we wanted to maintain the double hung configuration with the sashes being, so that they'll look as much like double hungs as possible when they're closed. And eventually those Anderson windows are at their end of life. They're more than 25 years old, and we would like to replace those. But it's a condo there. So we do not have all of the say in what happens in the exterior fenestration of the rest of the building. So while we can change the windows in the restaurant, we've got to get buy-in and coordination from the rest of the tenants of the condo in order to do the whole entire facade, which is, going to be a bit of a heavy lift. So we're not against changing all of the windows out eventually, because they're going to have to be replaced. And we'd like to get them to be as, cohesive as possible, because we don't want to mishmash. But for right now, the Anderson windows exist on the rest of the building and are going to stay for the time being. And I think that because this part of the building is set back and underneath that big roof, that it's not, you don't really ever catch all of that facade from the courtyard over all in one view, unless you're standing out on Route 28, which is probably pretty hazardous to your health.
Oh, thank you, Derek.
Yes, it is, Derek. Just running across there to get to the other side, so I can go to.
No
lunch.
kidding.
All right,
Dan,
anybody
should I
else?
make a motion?
Yes, please do, Doug.
All right, Doug Grant will make a motion on additions and alterations, 22-038, Max Chatham Fish and Lobster, care of Derek Burgess. Application to replace the windows and doors on the structure located at 1291 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequel will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. All right. Janet, how would you vote?
If I had a vote, I'm sorry, Derek. I think it's very attractive, but it won't go with the rest of the architect of the building, and I think it will be a bit out of place. I can understand what you're
Just
trying
to
to
know.
respect that, but if I had a vote, I would not vote for it. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Steve?
I think I feel the same. I think I would rather see traditional double hung windows there. You can open them, you know, the fold up windows aren't really going to give you more of an opening than you would get from a double hung window. And I would rather see traditional double hung windows there in place of the fold ups. So I would probably vote no.
Okay, Doug? Did we lose Doug?
You're muted, Doug.
Doug would vote in favor.
All right, Bob?
Bob would vote in favor.
All right, Sam?
Without giving a treatise on the aesthetics of windows versus and their proportions, this, even though it's called and looks like a double hung, is not a double hung in proportion, in the traditional proportions that we understand. So on that basis, I vote no.
Okay, Darcy?
Darcy Sequin is voting in favor.
All righty then. Let's find out. Steve?
I thought we voted.
Yeah, no, we
We
just
just
did.
voted, Dan.
I'm still voting no.
Okay.
Dan, it's just your vote.
No vote, all right. All right, Doug?
Dan, we
Yeah.
all voted. You're the only vote remaining. Doug voted in favor. You need to vote, Dan.
What's that?
You
We
need,
all voted. You need to
Oh,
vote.
that was a vote. I thought we were just doing a.
No, that was
family.
the vote.
Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I'm going to abstain. I appreciate what you've done over there. I think it's wonderful. You maintain the building. And I also have to take into consideration that you got those beautiful bushes out in front of the parking lot there that grow up so high that you barely see the front of the building anyways, your section of it, Derek. So I really do appreciate what you have, but I'm going to abstain on this one. So
so
where does
Derek,
that leave us, Sarah?
you got the favorable votes. You got 3
Huh?
votes in favor. He
Okay,
has
that's
3
good.
votes in favor.
The application passes.
Thank you.
What happened there, Darcy?
I said he had the 3 votes in favor.
Oh. Boy, the
Derek, good
audio
luck
is
with
screwed up.
everything.
The audio is
Thank
screwed
you
up
so
on
much. I really appreciate everyone's time, and I'll see you next time for the
You
outside.
bet. Nice job over there. Keep up the good work.
Thanks so much.
All right, Sam, what can I screw up now? Let's go.
22-043 Courtyard Condominium Association, care of Susan Smith. Application to replace an awning on the structure located at 15 Balfour Lane. Go for it, Susan.
You're muted, Susan.
Still muted. Oops. Oh.
You're muted.
Susan, you'll need to hit the little microphone button. And when the line goes off of it, so at the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen, you should see a microphone and a camera. When you click on that, you can unmute yourself.
Turn up your volume.
You're still muted, dear.
Yeah, it looks like the video's off too.
No, I'm getting their video.
Sarah, do you want to try giving her a call? Or
I
we
can
Or we can continue without her, one or the other.
Well, I'll share my screen. Well, I can't call her in while I share my screen, and I'm not sure if she's on her computer or cell phone.
Right.
That's a cell phone.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it looks like she's frozen now because she hasn't moved.
Yeah.
We scared her. She's like a doe in the headlights.
Okay, I'm attempting to call her in. So we'll see if that works.
Hello.
Hi, Susan. For some reason, you weren't able to unmute yourself. This is Sarah from the town of Chatham from the H.B.D.C meeting.
Do we have audio, Sarah, or not? Are you?
I'm not certain. She was just on the phone, but I'm not
Right.
sure if she's still there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry about that. I've been listening all along and I don't know what happened. But anyway, may I proceed?
Yes, please do. We have the graphics here if necessary, so.
Okay. Okay. All right. So basically, it's a replacement of an awning. It's replacing the fabric. Nothing will change. It's a rigid awning that's been there for over 30 years. And we're just replacing the fabric with a sandy beige color. So it's straightforward.
Alrighty. That's very straightforward. Nothing else? No additional signage at all? No lettering on it? Nothing, right?
No.
All right, Darcy?
I have no questions or concerns. I think it'll look great. Thank you.
Okay. Bob? You with us, Bob?
I'm here. Yeah, I was muted. It looks fine. I have no further questions.
Okay, Sam?
Yes, why are you changing color? I thought that green color was very attractive and made you unique in the town.
Well, the awning basically was damaged by an ice storm, so that we had this winter, and there are holes in the current awning, and we had a condominium meeting, and the majority voted for the sandy beige for a change. And the additional factor that I might mention is we've had some dry rot, and the company said that going with the solar factor on the sandy color is much better than having the dark green. The dark green doesn't let any light in, basically, and the sandy color does allow for some light to come through. So.
Okay, no questions. I have no questions.
Okay, Darcy?
Yeah, I already made a comment. I'm fine with it.
Okay. Steve?
I have no comments. If that's what the people would like, then they deserve that.
Okay, Doug?
Yeah, looks great. No questions.
Okay, Bob, I've been there, right?
Yes.
Janet?
Yes, you've been here.
Janet?
I think it will be an improvement. I think it will look good with a white paint. Beige and white always look very attractive together. Good luck.
Yeah, and I think you came up, just Dan Silver, I think you came up with an excellent explanation as to why to change color. So, very good. Doug?
So Doug Grant will make a motion under additions and alterations, application number 22-043, Courtyard Condominium Association, care of Susan Smith. Application to replace an awning on the structure located at 15 Balfour Lane, as presented.
Darcy Seacon will second the motion.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Sam?
Sam Stryber votes to approve.
Darcy?
Darcy Seacon votes to approve.
Bob?
Bob Burns votes to approve.
Doug Grattan?
Doug Grattan votes to approve.
Pete DuBois?
I would vote to approve.
And Janet?
I would vote to approve.
All right, and Dan Silver votes to approve. Very good.
Okay,
Great.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Sam?
22-44, the Chatham Cut, care of William F. Riley Esquire. Application to replace doors, install access ramp, replace awning, and install a cooler at 1291 Main Street.
Very good.
Yeah, good afternoon, Bill Riley, on behalf of the Chatham Cut.
Good afternoon, Bill.
So it's no longer a pizza place, so they thought they should make some changes, and they wanted to add ADA compliant access. There had been a cooler, an external cooler behind the building with the prior owner, but they dismantled it and moved it when they moved over to Knott's Landing. So they want to replace that. So that's the situation. They've sent you colored renderings, and I hope they're satisfactory. And I hope there aren't any questions, because I'm just a lawyer.
Okay, Bill, are you here for the awnings and the sign or not?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Dan, the awnings and the sign will have to come under a separate application because the
Yeah, I
sign,
was just-
well,
I
the
was just
awning
reading-
can,
Yeah, I was just
sorry, the
reading
awning can
application
go
for it.
ahead. The sign needs to be under a separate application.
Yep, that's why I asked. Thank you.
They've filed that, right, Sarah?
Give me one moment and I will check, Bill. Bill, I do not see a filing for our next meeting, which is June 1st for the signage.
All right, I'll make sure they're aware of that.
So if they are able to get it to me first thing tomorrow, I will put them on that agenda. Otherwise, it will be June 27th. No, hang on.
Okay.
I was looking at the wrong calendar. Otherwise, it would be June 15th.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
thank
and you're proposing to replace the awnings, right? Not put additional awnings up.
Right.
Right, okay, very good. All right. Sam, can we start with you?
Yes, so that picture that you're showing on the screen there, the sign above the awning is not part of the application, just the awning and the steps and the railings and all of that.
That is correct, Sam.
That's correct, yeah.
Okay. I don't see any problems. He's replacing the awning like for like, and everything else is being brought up to code. I think it's a lot of space for a lot of haircuts, I think.
All right.
Sam, it's a restaurant, not a hair salon.
Oh, okay. Oh. There you go.
The hair salon's across the parking lot.
Okay.
Samantha's, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you for clarifying that.
I have a question.
All right, Janet, go ahead.
Are you proposing, are you going to whitewash the bricks?
Yes.
And that's part of this application?
Yes, it is.
Is
They
that
sent
the
you-
entire building that you plan to whitewash the bricks?
Right, what was the question?
Are the entire building, are all the bricks being whitewashed?
That's my understanding.
Okay, thank you.
Bill, this is Dan Silver. In regards to Janet's question, are they going to be, when you say whitewashed, is it going to be solid wash or is it going to be, just whitewashed, see-through, an opaque
Well,
wash,
I thought I submitted a sheet that showed section. So it's not being painted white. It's a wash, so you can see the bricks through it. There you go.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, and that's one of the lamps they're proposing. They want the external lighting to be those lamps.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. All right, Darcy?
I have no concerns about this. We approved the cooler before by a previous owner, so I'm okay with everything.
Sam, did you, oh, you had no problems, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right, Bob?
Looks good. I have no questions. Thank you.
All right, Doug?
No, it looks good. Much needed improvements, so no questions.
Okay, Steve?
Well, I think it's a very nice update to the building, but I do just have a couple of questions. It looks like there's two ADA ramps, and I just want to verify that that's the way I was looking at this, and I was kind of curious as to the need for two of them.
Well, I don't believe two are absolutely required, but the property owners would like to have each access accessible to all their potential customers. In fact,
I understand. So I'm just wondering if one of them, like the one that faces Route 28, is just for egress, or is that also for an entrance? And why can't it just be? I don't know why would they would want to have two, but that's fine if that's what they want. That's fine, but it just seems kind of strange.
Okay, well, the best way I can answer that is I submitted an application for the same group of owners for 1260 Main Street, which is Pate's. And that application is for will provide two ADA compliant access ramps, one on the front door and one on the rear. So.
No, I have no problem with that. It's just I didn't know if that was a requirement or it was for egress purposes or in case of a fire. I have no problem with that. It doesn't make any difference to me. I think I know you submitted pictures of a lighting fixture, but we have no cut sheet for it. So there's no dimensions of it. There's no the projection from the building. There's no diameter of the lighting fixture. So I think you need to probably have that submitted along with the application so that we know exactly what we're voting on. Also, the drawing that was provided, there's some I have some questions about the lighting, and one of the drawings shows 3 lights on the Main Street side of the building, and one of the drawings shows 2 lights, one on each side of the door. So I think that just needs to be corrected as well, so that we know that we're voting.
I think looking at the drawing, I think the third lamp, which is on the left-hand side as you look at the building, is actually, because they're showing it sort of in a section view, that lamp is actually on the front facing the parking lot. It's just because you're looking down the side of the building.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure that that's what we were looking at. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Other than that, I have no questions or concerns. I think it's a nice improvement to the building, and I wish them luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Steve,
Yeah.
if I may address your question as to the ADA ramps. Are you gone already, Steve?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. I'm sorry, you disappeared from where you were on the. I think one of the reasons for the double ADA ramp is that ADA almost insists that handicapped people have the same access as the general public, which means that they should have the ability to go in either of the doors. I know we put in one handicap ramp downtown on a major building, and we got a lot of feedback because we hadn't put one in the front so that they could use that, even though there was no parking space, handicap parking, or no access for anybody in a wheelchair.
Okay. I was just kind of curious. That was
Yeah.
that was it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a question, another question. Is the awning staying over the window, the door, the same color? Mr. Riley?
I don't know what the current color is. They're showing it as
Yeah, this application is a little bit sketchy in that you're proposing your two entrances with new doors and access ramps, an exterior cooler for food storage, and an awning over the main entrance. And what you're asking in this whole thing, you want to change the color of the brick. My question is, this gable end that faces 28, is that all going to be white, or is it going to be alternate color? So it's like, I don't know, kind of sketchy.
well, I apologize for that, but yes, the brick facing on the Route 28 side will be the same as the brick facing on the parking lot side.
Because the picture seems to, I don't know, I get confused looking at the markup of the picture of the building, and it looks like there is a separation of color between the bricks on the bottom and the gable end of that building.
Janet, the top portion of the gable facing Route 28 is actually shingles.
Right.
So it's supposed to be white too?
No,
What?
no, it's shingled.
Is it going to be white? You're going to paint the bricks white? Is that going to be white or a different color?
We're not painting the bricks. We're whitewashing them so that they won't be white. They'll look like bricks that have been whitewashed, I hope. That's what the picture shows. And the shingled portion of the gable end facing Route 28 is not going to be painted white.
What color then?
It's going to be shingled. Cedar
It'll be
shingle.
natural cedar, Janet.
All I can tell you is it's whatever there is there today, that's what's going to be there tomorrow. So
It's white cedar shingles, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Bill, this is Dan Silver. They did have a cooler back there, and I thought we had requested that they put plantings up, which I don't believe they ever did. I don't even think they put plantings in pots out there. I think we asked for some lealands. Is that going to be on a different?
I'm sure my guys would be happy to do that. Just tell me what you want, and I'm sure they'll be happy to oblige.
Okay, well, maybe when you come back with something else. So anyways, yeah, I don't know, I guess it was Sam or Darcy said there was one there before, so I'm not opposed to it at all, Bill. And as long as it's whitewashed and not painted white, I'm fine with it. So it doesn't look like you're changing an awful lot, just the two ramps. So anyways, all right. Now that I've completely lost my place, Doug?
Bob would like to speak if
Oh,
that's.
Bob, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The awning is up. If you drive by, the awning is looks like a navy blue, for everybody's information. So there is an awning that was just put up. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob.
I'll have to start paying attention when I drive by.
All right, Dan. So Doug Grant will make a motion under all additions and alterations, application 22-044, the Chatham Cut, care of William F. Riley, Esquire. Application to replace the doors, install access ramps, replace awning, and install cooler at 1291 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
All right. Motions were made and seconded. At this point, I don't want to really make it. I hope the cooler is going to be the same size. I don't want to see a triple size one go in there. So,
well, what I can do, Dan, is when I get the information on the lamps, I'll get the dimensions on the cooler as well.
Oh, that'd be great, Bob. Thank you so much.
I can
Bill.
send them,
I'm sorry.
I'll
Yeah,
send them
that'd be
both
great.
along.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you. All right. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Ready for a vote? Darcy?
Darcy Sequin is in favor.
Okay, Sam Stryber,
Sam Stryber approves.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns approves.
okay, Doug Grattan,
Doug Ratton approves.
Steve DeBoer,
Steve DeBoer would approve.
Janet, what if?
What if, I would vote to, wait until they have all the information together. Thank you.
All right. And Dan Silver approves. Very good. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much. I'll get the information to you promptly, and I'll tell them they better file their sign application promptly as well. Thanks very much for your help.
Yeah, don't forget, I think you need the one out front too, Bill.
Yeah, I assumed they had a sign guy working on that, but anyway, I'm
Right.
just a lawyer.
Hey,
All right, thanks very much. All right, bye now.
Bye now. All right, Sam, ratifications?
So we have, the last application is the site improvement 22-42, Chatham Perk on Main, care of Cat Martin. Application to place a hot dog cart at 447 Main Street.
All righty, what are you up to?
Hello, thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome.
Okay, so I'm requesting to have the addition to the 447 Main Street location to have a hot dog cart and offer quick service items as hot dogs and soda and chips. And let's see, all the condiments would be contained, and I would have a trash out there. I would say that some of the benefits would be to add quick meal items for people walking downtown, and certainly to shop owner employees who are looking for a quick meal, so they wouldn't have to wait in lines. And you know, the added food option for specialty nights that would help the summer crowds, like the band concert night and Mondays on Main. And I guess I would suggest, you know, limited reasonable hours, such as say like 11 to dusk. And if the hours were not a good fit, we could certainly adjust those or alter them later. And you certainly have the plan that I sent in, but it would be located on the grass area next to the patio. And it could be pulled in onto the patio in the evening to be secured. It certainly would not be in any pedestrian areas. And let's see, we would be following all of the Board of Health regulations and protocol. I did have a conversation today with Judy Giorgio, and she said that her department had a discussion about the cart and they were okay with it on their end and had no problem. And it's located on the private property owned by Peter and Cynthia Demos, and they've given their blessing for it. And also I had a discussion with some neighbors about businesses, and they also welcome it as well. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you very much. Boy, times are changing. Individuals have been trying to get a hot dog stand downtown for well over 40 years. I don't know how you got it this far. So anyways, Sarah, could you explain to everyone else? I think I asked the questions. I thought this came under the jurisdiction of the selectmen.
So for an outdoor display of goods, it has to be located on or upon or against the wall of a commercial structure from the Rotary to Mulford House. That's where that's where the select board has their jurisdiction.
All right, so this is not considered a concession?
It does not qualify as an outdoor display of goods. We're still going through Whether or not site plan approval is required for this type of application as an expansion of an allowed use, because she does have the restaurant use existing
Right.
on site already. So internally, staff is working through what the requirements would be necessary.
Right. I just didn't know how it fell on our lap first, but anyways.
Well,
find
they
out.
would need your approval because HBDC does also review outdoor display of goods, site improvements, things of that nature.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Sarah. Darcy,
Okay, so Kat, this is the same hot dog cart that was in your North Chatham location at the Perk?
Yes. Yes, it was the one that was approved a couple of years
Okay.
ago.
Yeah, we approved that. So I have no problem with it. I think it's going to be fun. And like Dan said, I think people have been looking for this for a while. And it is temporary, correct? It's only going to be there for a couple of months or whatever.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
okay, Sam,
Yes, looking at the photograph, and I didn't see the one, or I might have seen it, but I don't really remember what it looked like up in North Chatham. I'm sure that it crossed my eyeballs, but I didn't remember anything. The upper structure that looks like it's a box sitting on the above the countertop. What is in that box?
That's like a considered dry case. And it has a couple of like plexiglass little windows with knobs, and they slide open and closed. And that is for where you would put, say, your napkins or, you know, like your hot dog containers or anything that would be kept dry. I know the staff kind of kept like their like change in there, like the hot dog buns.
Dry goods.
The dry goods. Yeah, it's a dry good case.
Okay, and the two canisters of gas can't have a screening around them that might look a little more attractive. That would be my only suggestion, just so you don't see all the, you know, a skirt.
Mhm.
Just a thought. I got I have no other questions. Thank you.
I have a question.
Janet, yep.
Yes, from which side will people be ordering the hot dogs? From your patio side? Where is it going to be situated? Or is it going
From the patio side, sure.
What is your plan? What is your plan?
Well, it's going to be on the grassy area, and I know when we've had it in the North Chatham area, it's easily, you know, accessible from both sides. But the serving end of it would be on the walkway side. So folks who were walking
on the sidewalk side.
It would be on. Oops, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I'm thinking that it would be on the walkway, where not the sidewalk, but maybe towards the walkway and cornered kind of towards the patio.
So people would have to, now you have tables up there, right?
We're going to have some tables up there.
So people would have to, they're not going to be buying hot dogs from the street side, is that right? I'm a little worried about the topography of the banking there, because it's steep, it's a hazard. I mean, I fell down a banking last summer and broke 2 bones in my lower leg on Main Street. So,
no, we would definitely position it so it wouldn't be, you know, hazardous to pedestrians.
Okay, all right. I personally do not think it's within the historic disposition of Main Street. I think it would be better off if you could run a hot dog stand from the parking lot than on Main Street. And if I had a vote, I would definitely vote this down. Thank you.
Thank you, Janet. Bob Burns?
One question, Kat, is this are you ordering a second cart, or is this the one that was in North Chatham?
This is going to be the one that was in North Chatham. I'm not going to have two at this time.
Okay. I think it's an awfully tight space for this, and I'm concerned about traffic problems on Main Street. So I'm not so sure that I would be in favor. Thank you.
Okay, Steve DeBoer?
Yeah, I had some of the same concerns that the previous speaker said that, and I wrote some notes to myself here about pedestrian traffic along that sidewalk, and the orientation of the oh, I'm sorry, I have a fire call. The orientation of the cart, whether it would be facing the patio or the building, because I think it's a if it was facing the sidewalk and people are trying to get off the sidewalk, I think that's just an accident waiting to happen. And so if anything, you need to sort of force people to or direct people to come up onto the patio rather than trying to reach over that curb and up the hill to where the stand would be from the sidewalk. The other thing, and I'm not sure if it's our purview, but I know there's some talk about food trucks in the area and whether or not they can be within so many feet of a brick and mortar type establishment, and I'm not sure if this falls into that category or not, because it is portable, it is mobile. So does this fall into the same category as a food truck? I'm not sure.
Steve,
And
I can answer that question for you.
okay.
If you like.
Okay.
Under the proposed mobile vending regulations, this would not qualify. The food trucks or food carts or anything like that will be or could be approved by the select board, but currently they're only proposing to allow it in, I believe, 5 locations, which are all town property. So no
Okay.
private locations would be allowed to do the food trucks as of yet.
So this may not be allowed
Potentially.
under that.
We're, as I said earlier, staff is still working through all of this.
I understand. And then I think you need, again, I think you might need some fencing to prevent people from trying to buy something from the sidewalk and to force them onto the patio area and away from pedestrian traffic that would be on the sidewalk.
So if it were moved to the patio, would it be okay?
Yeah, I mean, there could be a big bottleneck there. I think, especially at lunchtime or when people are trying to buy hot dogs, there's already a bottleneck because they're narrow sidewalks there. So, if you could force people up or direct people to come up the stairs and onto the patio, that would be a good idea.
Okay.
Janet, did you have an additional question?
Yeah, I have another concern. That's a driveway, an entrance into a parking lot in back where people come in and out. I just think I think for all reasons, it's not a good idea. Thank you.
That actually wouldn't be near that driveway. It's quite far away from it.
But the people will be walking. How do they get up to how do they get up to your building there?
Well, there's 2 entrances. There is actually steps on that driveway that come up. So I know people go up and down those steps. And then there's the walkway that goes towards the antique store, and the hair company has like a separate little area. So.
Isn't there a hair place in the back of the demos antique shop there in the front? And there's a hair thing, and there's people coming in and out of that parking lot to go to the hair studio, isn't there?
No, they don't park in the back parking lot.
I used to take a client from Chatham in that way. So I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
All right, have we gone through everybody?
No,
Doug?
Dan, I haven't spoken.
Okay, go ahead. Well, I was gonna let you speak and make a motion, but go ahead, Doug.
Well,
Go ahead,
I
Doug.
have no problem with what's being proposed. I am familiar with this hot dog cart at its previous location and seeing where it would be situated on the lot and the access the public would have. You know, I don't think there'd be any safety concern, and I think it would be something that, you know, as Dan mentioned, we've been looking for a long time. I know there's other businesses on Main Street that you go by at different times of the day and night where you'll see an awful lot of traffic on the sidewalk and such. So I don't think that would be detrimental to this area at all. So I would certainly vote to approve.
All right, well, in order to get that approval, we need a motion, Doug.
That's what I'll do, Dan. So under
do
application
that,
site
Doug?
improvement, application 22-042 Chatham Perk on Main, care of Cat Martin. Application to place a hot dog cart at 447 Main Street as presented.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Darcy,
Darcy will vote to approve.
all right, Sam Stryber,
Sam Stryber votes to approve.
Bob Burns,
Bob Burns votes to not approve.
all right, and let's see, now we got Doug Grattan,
Doug Ratton votes to approve.
Dee DeVore,
I would vote not to approve.
all right. And then that leaves us Janet,
I would vote strongly not to approve. Thank you.
right? Well, it seems it's the first hot dog stand in Chatham proper that I'm aware of. I'm gonna vote in favor just to see what happens. You got ways to go yet, I know, so. I would much prefer that you could find enough room for cars to get there, you know? I mean, that's, only people walking are gonna be able to get a hot dog.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the first part of that.
I said, it'd be nice if you park someplace, had that someplace where people could pull in and get a hot dog like they have up at Pukett's or, you know, the rest areas, the parking lots.
They can park at Eldridge Garage.
Maybe
Yeah, there you go.
bike trail. Try
All right, Doug.
All right, I know these folks want to get home, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Sam.
Administrative approval and exemption. 22-46, Steve Williams, care of Seth Panis. Ratification of certificate of exemption to repair deck and railing on structure located at 279 Orleans Road.
Okay, so this was Darcy and who, Sarah?
This was Darcy and Doug,
Darcy
and
and
it
Doug,
was
all right.
done under maintenance. And
good.
this is the front of the building down at 279 Orleans Road.
Wow.
This is what they're proposing to replace with the material type. And this is the back of the building that they are replacing, which I don't believe is technically visible from Orleans Road.
Okay, very good. All right, Doug?
So Doug Grant will make a motion on administrative approval / exemption 22-046 Steve Williams, care of Seth Panis. Ratification of a certificate of exemption to repair a deck and railing for the structure located at 279 Orleans Road as presented.
Very good.
Darcy Sequin will second the motion.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Darcy?
Darcy votes in favor.
Sam Stryber?
Sam Stryber votes in favor.
Bob Burns?
Bob Burns votes in favor.
Doug Grattan?
Doug Grant votes in favor.
Dee DeVore?
I would vote in favor.
All right, Janet Whittemore?
I would vote in favor.
And Dan Silver votes in favor. Very good. We got one more, Sam?
I do.
All right.
22-049, 1200 Main Street LLC, care of Michael Nardone. Ratification of certificate of administrative approval to replace the roof on the structure located at 1200 Main Street.
All right, Darcy and who?
Darcy and Doug.
Oh, okay,
So
all righty.
this is what will be the Chatham Cut.
Yep.
So They are just replacing the roof with a,
Oh, architect?
yes, architect shingle, Landmark Warrior Black.
Oh, okay. Hot roof.
And I believe the awning, that was the old awning that was actually there for New England Pizza, just so you're aware.
Yes. Oh, and the photograph, yes.
Yes.
All righty. Doug?
So application 22-049, I'm forgetting, is it Mike, the Chatham cut, care of Mike Nardone at 1200 Main Street to replace the roof with asphalt shingles as presented.
Darcy Sequin seconds the motion.
All right, motion is made and seconded. Janet?
I think it would be very attractive with the whitewash bricks and the dark color of the architectural shingles. If I had a vote, I would say yes. Thank you.
Okay. Steve DeBoer?
I would vote to approve.
Okay. Doug Grattan?
Doug Grattan votes to approve.
Bob Burns?
Bob Burns votes to approve.
Sam Strybert?
Sam Strybert votes to approve.
Darcy Sequin?
Darcy Sequin votes to approve.
And Dan Silver votes to approve. Very good, folks. All right. So, did I get us through?
Doug Grattan can make a motion to adjourn.
Darcy Sequin seconds the motion.
Okay, is anybody opposed at all?
I
Okay,
would
folks.
be.
Thank you very much. What is our next meeting, Sarah? July 8th, did you say, or something like that?
Our next meeting is June 1st,
June 1st. Oh, yeah.
July.
4:30 p.m., same place. We do have a few applications on there. Not as many as this time, so it should go a little smoother.
Well, thank you, folks, for hanging in there. You've done a wonderful job throughout the year. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your efforts.
Sarah, can I ask a question about that I'm not able to get the camera? At the last meeting, I think somebody said that they haven't been able to get the Apple up and running with the equipment that you have. Is that the problem with me, or is it me somehow?
Jenna, honestly, I don't know.
Well, I have my camera icon here, and it just says I can't do anything with it. I can't flip it on or off. I just see it with a slash mark.
I would suggest, have you installed the desktop application for Microsoft Teams?
It comes in through my email, and that's and it also shows up on the screen, but I can only usually access it by going to the email and then going through the process that everybody else does.
So if you go to the Microsoft Office website, type in Microsoft Teams and download the mobile app.
Okay.
And try that for next time. Or we can do a test meeting sometime later this week or next week if you'd like to see if that works for you.
I could run in.
Yep.
My computer. Okay, Sarah, that would be grand. Thank you very much.
Okay, Janet, take care.
Thank you.
Sarah, I will come in to sign.
Okay.
All right,
Thank
and
you very
also
much.
bring out one of those, affidavits for watching this.
Yes, I'll bring them in. I'll have the meeting affidavit for you.
Yeah, okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.